Welcome, I'm Bill Wake. We're here working on a calculator that kilt makers can use to help them make kilts. And we've done a fair bit. We got the actual calculator part done, and lately we've been working on what I'm calling a pleat designer that lets you choose the sizes and count of pleats. All right. We left off with a failing test around the yard formatter not working. And I just couldn't let that sit all weekend. So I did a late session. It's recorded and on Twitch if you really want to go back to it. But it's about a 10-minute, 15-minute session where we debugged the issue of the formatter not working. And I've got the code diff here just to briefly show it. Basically, we switched off this use of imperial format type and just use the imperial format. And then down here, we use the value formatter's format method instead of formatting off the result. It's pretty minor. But I think this was the heart of the problem, if I recall. It has to choose which formatter to use, and we weren't making that choice. So now we do, and we just format with whatever we gave ourselves. And that's updating the test. All right, and the to-do. So a fairly minor change, but it just required tracing through and figuring out what was up. Okay, the second issue is, and this one I didn't do on camera, but over the weekend, the way we did pleats, let's see if I can find that over here. We made the assumption that the hip measurement is the critical one. And that if you set a hip measure like 20 and a set, say 5, okay, it's going to compute the number of pleats and the width. Now, our old method would lock in the hip measurement. So it wouldn't, whatever you changed, if you changed the pleat width to 2, it would change the hip measurement. It would keep the hip measurement at 20 and change the result to 10 instead of the current. Well, let's see if we can get there. The 12 that's current, we'll change it to 10. Okay, but that constraint was wrong. So what it does now is, if you set this, you sort of get the normal initialization of 1/3 of this, 1/3 of the set, the fabric width, which is the product of these two, which was the 1.667. But now what it does is it takes that, it figures out what would that be in actual number of pleats. Oh, it would be, well, maybe it would be 11.2, 11.54 or something. Then we force it to an integer by rounding and then take whatever pleat width results from that to get to the hip to hip we desired. So the constraint that this has to be an integer is much more strictly enforced. And if either of these two change once they've been set, it changes the hip measurement. And that's more the way they work, that like you'll say, oh, I'm going to try 12 pleats, and you see what you have to do to get the hip measurement you want, or you start with a natural number of pleats, I guess. And then you adjust up or down, but you might, if you don't want things locked in. So if the hip measurement needs to go up a little bit, it's okay. Even though somebody would buy the measure, maybe have 22-inch hips, if you went up to 23, it would be okay. Going up to 24 is probably too much, and going to 24 is almost definitely too much. Now, I'm not sure this is totally right yet, but enough watching my wife actually calculate and go like, okay, well, what if this, this came out 20.3 inches? Well, that's fine. It's, less than an inch, not a big deal. So I don't know. The stuff changed around this. Let's see if I can pull up. So, okay, yeah, you can see it in here. So when you change pleat count, we look and say, we used to say, oh, I better change pleat width so that I keep the hip constant. Now we say, no, let's just adjust the hip measure to what we want. So they would get 24 here. They go like, whoa, 2 inches is just too big. What if I try 1.5? Well, I get a box pleat with overlap. The overlap is a 1/4 inch. That's actually pretty good. Okay. Maybe 1.6. I get 0.01. I'm sorry, 0.1 inches, even less. Yeah. It would be likely I could find a number that would make me happy. 1.7, 0.05 inch gap, and 20.4. So that would probably be where they settle in this case. But that's, I'm not quite sure. I'm catching something because we definitely need to adjust the hips in these cases. So we'll see what they do. But I think they do kind of iterate in around what will fit and see what they can do. I tried to find out if they keep that original target in mind, if that has some influence on things, but I don't really see it. At any rate, okay, so she's teaching a class this week doing this calculation today, so I did this without the whole virtual semi-mob that we run. Yeah, like I said, it's a little work in progress still, but I think we're closer to what is needed. All right, so that was these two. Hip can flex, pleats stays a whole number. All right, what's today? The 10th. I forget what I called this. Textfield with fractions. Okay, so what we'd like to do is get back into the idea that we'll use these new formatter approaches we made last week and use them in the field and see how the editing goes. Oh, one more thing I did. The keyboard, you can't tell on the simulator, but on the real phone, the keyboard pops up with numbers, a number keypad, where you can type on these things, but then there's no mechanism to make it go away. Like clicking on the background doesn't do it, and trying to slide it and all that stuff. It just doesn't go away. So I found somebody's solution that puts a done button on top. On the phone, this done button shows up on top of the keyboard. I don't think it's ideal or perfect or anything, but it does work, and it's enough to let you use that page. I think I can find, let's see, where's pleat view? Yeah. Okay, so the solution is kind of complicated considering, but what you do is you create an enum that represents each possible field, and then within a field, you mark it focused with focus field equals, and then whatever value from the enum there is. You have these states for it still. But let's see, at the bottom, somewhere down here. Yeah, so at the bottom of the whole form, we're adding this thing about we're adding this done button. So on the toolbar, place it above the keyboard, a done button, and it just resets that focused field to nil, which makes the keyboard go away. Yeah, I'm open to better solutions, but this has worked, even if it's a bit clunky. I don't know if I don't know. Maybe I could focus them all on the same thing, in which case they wouldn't need to. They wouldn't need the separate fields and a whole enum and all that stuff. I don't know, but as it is, it does the job. Okay, if I find a better way, I'll come back to it. At some point, I'm going to update to, I think we're on iOS, 16.4. 17's coming out soon. The beta is released and people are playing with it already. So probably when that happens, I'll update this to that and see if there's a better solution then. Okay. New formatter approach. Okay, so let's find that lovely article. I think we have implemented the extensions and the format style method and these kind of equivalent things. That all seems good. Now, whoops, where was the, yeah, here's the field. I want to do a binding. Okay, this is a little awkward. Okay. Here's format dot phone number. Okay. That comes from here. Static var phone number. Okay. Is basically a phone number format style. Okay. So we just want to try that and see what happens when you edit it. And let's check the initializer. So it's a value format prompt, okay, kind of thing. Let's, oops, sorry. Don't need that either. All right, here we go. So we want to put a different text field in. Well, we just had that here. And I have field, I have two versions of field. I should clean that up too. I broke out one for int and double, and I tried to find a way to make it generic, like T, generic over T, where T is numeric. Didn't buy it. It didn't like the conversion. So I've got these both, but I think I want to just say field. I want to extract out double field. Move this up. Keyboard type and keyboard type. Okay. Guess we haven't run tests yet, so let's do that. Then we're going to start extracting. So I want to do this. Will you let me extract? Let it finish building. Okay, good. All right, now if I extract this as a method, does that? No. Okay. Infield of a bunch of stuff gives me some view. And this stuff is the text field. And it's going to need the label, the value, and format. Format. Oh, and the message. What's the message? Oh, the error message. Okay. Yeah, so we just need the label and the bound value. I don't know if I'm doing this well. Okay. So field, I'm saying you should probably have a version that just gives it the field. All right. And this is, the field is some view. We don't need Well, we do need focus, but we don't need the bound value. I don't know if that label. Well, I do need the label. That's annoying. Where's the label coming from? Label of string. And my hope is, I don't think this is going to work. The field. Because it's no longer going to be, well, let's see. Yeah, if that's the worst problem I got, that's all right. Okay. All right, so you're going to have to create int field bound value. Okay, so if well, I guess I'm looking at this one and I'm saying, well, let's find my number of pleats is int field label is # pleats, more stuff. The focus and the bound value. The focus and the bound value. Okay, but then field takes the label, the focus? Why did it need the focus? Or does this need the focus? It does not. It does not need focus, but it does need the bound value. The label, the focus, the field, the label, the focus, the bound value. I don't think bound value is needed. The field, the label, the focus, and the message. The field, the label, the focus, and the message. Okay, cannot find int field. And with all these parameters, I think message should probably be explicit and label. Okay. Let's run this. I don't know. It's a little... Well, our plates are there. Okay, 25, 4, whatever. Okay. Okay, so I changed that. Right. Now, there's a view builder tag. I think we could maybe change the tag order and get something a little nicer. Yeah, so context. All right, let's start by swapping the order. Yeah, I don't care about that. Okay. Field. So instead of some view, okay, that seems okay there. Let's number of plates. Wait, I lost something. Oh, there's int field. Okay. And I don't know, the tradition is to lose label there. Like let that first argument speak for itself. So let's try that. Okay. All right. So then this is a single space inside each brace. And the line's too long. Okay, let's do this. I don't know how I like it. I guess I want to see the other one work first. All right, let's put double field. Label string of binding to optional double. Text field is okay. And this is decimal pad. I don't know, I'm getting a lot of these, aren't I? Find usage. Okay, that's the first one. This one's my new one. What's this one? Not used. Okay. Okay, so I want to replace these with this style. Label, focus, message, and then the interior. Label, focus, here's the bound value. Well, there's my trailing closure. See if that stays. Oh. Okay, field, label. Oh, we need message. Multi-line arguments violation. Okay. Okay. View. Okay. So we're going to make the same change here. This is message. Table row content. I don't know. Maybe I'm going a bad way. Field, label, focus, message, and interior field. Okay, I'm going to revert this. I'm just not feeling like it's coming out right. Yeah, no, I tried generics and they just, well, I'll try it again because if it worked, it'd be nice, right? So what I tried was this with or without this T numeric and use T here. And I get this. So T is the bound value here. Now let me comment out the other one just in case that's interfering. And they just don't give you much clue to go on. Let's try T of double. Non-protocol, non-class type. Oh, that's not a protocol. Yeah. Okay, so I get that. If I just do T by itself, yeah, I get the same deal. So I'm not sure the right way to go for this, but I feel like well, it's certainly a duplication that we have because we have an int and a double version of this. What we just did was try and select out just the chunk that changes because it's an int, which is bound value int, basically. It maybe there's a way to do it. I mean, what we were doing felt like it was going in the right direction up until we hit that first one. So I don't know, but I think I just want to move ahead and let it be. All right. So what I'm trying to get to is this. I want to do a text field with a label, value, format, and prompt. All right. So the calculator view right now has, complete view, label, value, format. Well, and this is prompt. Is that? What's the message? Okay, the text of the message, yeah. Well, I don't think we should need prompt. Okay, so we should just be able to get to our label. Now, where we left that. It's formatter. I'm sorry, I'm just not sure where this thing ties in. We got an extension on format style. I think that's on value. So value, format, style. Why don't you want to go there? Okay. I think it's just value, format, style. Value, format, style is the parsable style. Extension. Oh, here we go. Inches. Okay, so I think we could just say inches on our plate view. Except this is the one, no. This is the double field. Okay, so let's see what happens. Oh no. Ambiguous. Still ambiguous. Oh. Okay, let's see text field. So many variations. Title value format prompt. Okay, that's the one we want. Format F. Did it restrict F? Value format style. Okay. Struct. Oh, sorry, I missed your comment. Yeah, no, I think that's what I did. Okay. Gosh, value format style extension. I mean, I think this is format style.inches. Okay, let's try that. Because we extended. I don't know why it wouldn't have found it. Huh. Well, let's go back to number. Well, maybe number is not a value format style. It's a format extension. Public static var. Is that what we did? Public static var. Okay. Here's value. Here's this. Okay, extension format style where self equals some format style over double. All right, static var number, public static var inches. Has a getter, returns value format style of inches. That looks the same to me. So y dot inches. Golly. Okay, let's close this back up. Value dot inches. So that should be a format style. Dot inches. Type of expression is ambiguous. Huh. But if I take number, it's fine. Let's just put one of these by itself. Yeah. Is it something about double versus this? Can it just be something other than a double? No, I don't think so. Because it's coming off of value, and value has that enum where it's only double. And we format it to yard, feet, inches, but it never is represented that way. Okay, so I may take this, fix that, but that's rearranging deck chairs here. Okay, the other one is this nesting. Well, I don't know. This nesting complaint may be more significant. I don't know. It makes it hard to get to, I guess. Value format style. Okay, so here's value format style. Interior to this is parsable. So if I have this, inches is a value format style. It doesn't object to inches. I mean, it suggested it even, it just doesn't like it. Value format style. Dot inches. Okay, so this is that one. This is that. I wish they would give you more to go on. Type of expression is ambiguous. Well, it's a binding double. Make sure this is still okay. Okay. Well, let's pull this up. I'm going to put it right over the top here. I don't think it's going to do any better. Label. Okay, this is call it spike. The value is dollar. Hip is of double. Format inches. Oh, that's a better message. Cannot convert binding of string to binding value format input. Text field. Tip is a string. That's not what we want. We want pleat designer.hip. Designer. Wow. Well, Let's take out the form. Well, maybe he should be bound to a value? So right now, this is, well, hip to hip is a double. What if he's a value? Right, that's a bunch of mess. Okay, let's not do that. Although I have a suspicion it's maybe relevant. Okay, if this is a value, let's make one ourselves. Okay, so let's just say at state my value equals value dot number 12.5. Okay, now this dollar my value format inches. Okay. Ooh, let's see. Get her inches instead. Yeah, no, well, a clean build's a good idea at this point. But I think what's going on is my text field now, because its formatter says it works on values. I think my value has to be a capital V value, and Pleat Designer is not. All right, let's put things back again. Let me just do a compare. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think if I just revert, I'll be better off. Okay. Control discard changes. All right. Now, yeah. But that's a fair bit of change to the Pleat designer. I mean, we have mechanisms to do this math more or less. Okay. Public var, I'm going to say hip to hip value for a moment. Okay. Okay. My goal is to get a view that will let me edit that. It was value $designer dot hip to hip value. Message, right? Value, format, and prompt. Okay. Format dot number, prompt. Okay, so I'm hoping to get a field I can edit. Oh, man. Oh, no. That seems so promising. Is value? Sorry, it's label value. Oh, I want inches. No, I want number. Cannot convert value of type string to expected argument type text. Format. I guess dot inches. So I gotta make my value be in inches too. Okay, that's all right. Value dot inches. I'm feeling something's a little off, but all right, let's see if we get there. Cannot convert value of type string. Oh, wrong problem. Okay, so this is this extra thing up here. Well, he looks right. Now what happens is I type. 4/8 inches. No value found. Okay. But I think he may not recognize that. So 21 4/8 inches. Not sure he knows about spaces. No. Okay, something works. And the problem is I want these to be numbers and not inches. Because I don't want to have to type inch every time. Okay, so 21 4/8 inches. No value found. $21 4/8. No value found. Okay, this is. But 21 inches works. Okay, so maybe my formatter is not quite there. So I think we're seeing the two sides of it though. So 21 inches. Okay, so that formats with a space in it. But like is the output exactly equal, the output format equal to the input format? Well, I'm pretty sure we only accept dot as input, not bullet centered dot or whatever that thing is. Yeah, so I think there's some sort of dot problem, but the way this thing works, there's sort of like an input side and an output side. That's us. I believe no value found. Yeah, that's one of the errors we produce. Now, this is where I wonder if having errors in our values is really a good thing or not. I mean, really, I'd rather have a message on the bottom that says no value found and leave this up here so I can keep typing, because 21.5, no value found. Well, I lost my 21.5. So that's a throw. Yeah, so I think what's going on is a gap between the number of inches, a gap between our output format and our input format. Okay, let's try another one. 21 space inches. Oh, it does accept that. Okay. But at least on the dots, there's a problem. Now, it came up so nicely. That's the good side. I mean, 21 4/8 inches is 21.5 inches, which was our setup. So one thing is, I do want to be able to just put numeric values in here. I don't want to have to do inches all the time, even though I may want to measure. I may want to calculate in inches internally. I don't know. All right. So yeah, one problem is inputs versus outputs. Another problem is all my Pleat Designer stuff works in ints and doubles, not in values. So that's got to be dealt with. And then this error message situation is probably worth looking at too. Okay, so let's see, input versus output format. how to show error. Convert pleat designer to work in value, not int double. That feels like enough. I thought this would be just like plug it in. Okay, now I could make a bullet acceptable as an input format. That seems reasonable. Because if I edit this, I delete the inches and I put inches in, well, space inches, tab away. Now I get no value. Okay, well, we got some work to do. All right, I think let's take a break. I'm already feeling like I've been fuzzy brained today, so, ugh. Oh, and I did have a relevant question. Like our decimal keypad doesn't have a slash on it, even though like my keyboard's number pad does. I wonder if we should take this, accept that as a valid input. They're both sort of non-standard, so I don't know how bad that is, but it's a consideration. All right, and I guess this is more of a topic than a next thing. All right, so we'll come back. We'll look at input and output format, see if we can figure out what's going on there, and go. We're at least tied in, and something's happening on the value editor, and I appreciate that. All right, I'll see you in 3 or 4 minutes. Welcome back. All right. Let's see. You could add the slash the same way you had the dismiss keyboard button. Yeah, that might be a way around that. Yeah, I mean, it's not really just as non-standard because I think what we have is actually reasonably standard. It's just unexpected for people that slash and divided by both show up there, and a little confusion there maybe. But let's see. Oh, another unfocused keyboard tapping away done button. Right, we did that. Okay, so I think, well, let's take a minute and look at this. This is that basic protocol. Converts a given input type to a representation in an output type. Parse strategy. Well, that's less than helpful. Let's go to parse strategy. An input type, an output type, a parse method that turns the input into an output, and a fixed method for time zones. Okay, whatever. Parsable format style. A type that can convert. So parse strategy does the work of converting an input to an output, and then parsable format style converts a given input tape to its representation. I think I'm working in circles here. Okay, and here it's from format style. Let's go there. Format an input into an output. Okay. Well, I'm feeling stuck on a couple levels. One is I really don't want to have to put the word inches in every time somebody types one of these things because they're just not going to do it. And I don't think it's going to help me any either. So that makes me wish I had another output type. Well, it's what a mess. The reality for us is there is this yard feet inches style, but this is really like, it's kind of it's maybe it's kilt inches or something, but it's the style that says don't write a half, write 4/8. And I think at least on the output side. Now, also more learning. there's another style of measurement they use where they don't even write they just talk about everything in eighths, and you're allowed to have eighths or you're allowed to have half eighths, which is sixteenths. So if it was 3/8, they would just call it 3, and if it was 7/16, they would call it 3.5. And then they could do the plus or minus thing if necessary. And that's a sort of very traditional way, which saves you lots of writing out /8 all over the place, I guess. Well, I guess I should wonder. Well, that's a good question. Could we add it automatically? It might be possible, but I think the reality is, like, number of pleats is not in eighths of inches, so we need a formatter for just simple math. It could just be dot number, I think, but then we got some things in values and some things in integers, and that's a little awkward, but maybe doable or deal withable. And it doesn't apply to gap. The gap and total fabric, they don't need to do input, so it doesn't matter for them. So I don't know what to fix. So I guess I don't understand my value format style of my inches. If they don't accept legal values, then I've got something wrong with my parser, I guess. Let's see, here's value parse strategy. Find the method. There's parse. Okay, self.parse. All right, that's so I can do statics. Fine. Okay, and that's the whole deal. But my goodness, I thought we tested this side pretty thoroughly. Value parse strategy tests. I mean, yeah. Three-fourths, 1.25, 4.5. Okay. I mean, all these seem like they're using the method we're trying to test. Okay, so let's see, 1.25. Well, they're numeric ones. Okay, why aren't we testing units? Well, I think we have value tests. Do they test the parser, though? Maybe they don't. Okay, so somehow formatter tests. These test the output side pretty well. I guess there are only so many things you can do. You've got these two kinds of formatters. Well, this is very suspicious to me that it really doesn't check our inches. Let's add a test for that. And I don't know, I'll even keep the same test. I don't think we have to test all the bad cases. Well, we can. Inches. Inches with or without a space, inches. I don't know how I missed all these tests. I expect some of these are going to fail. I don't know which ones, but should lead us to something. No. Okay, well, our parser's that robust apparently. Value parse strategy dot parse of input, and it checks the value. Okay, well, I don't necessarily want to check in those, but I will check in this. I don't mind checking to do. Okay. Is parser working with value? Yes. And so this value parse strategy, let's see. Okay, yeah, so the value has a single strategy there that deals with it. And a formatter. See, I've got them separate. I mean, I don't think it's... I guess you want to be able to... In the way they're doing it, I think you can fold these into one object and use them that way. And that may be creating some problems for us. I don't know. So we have format. Here's value parse strategy. Imperial formatter. Value formatter dot format. Let's find this. Okay, that's on value. Good. Format value imperial formatter dot formatter. Value. Now what's this thing? He's nothing apparently. Okay, oops. Oh, it does not conform. Oh, interesting. So parsable format style demands it. In which case, I don't know if it should be up here. Oh, there it is. Parse in. I don't know. Like input string goes to value. That seems like parse strategy's job. Input string goes to value. And why? This is where I think we're separating out objects or something. Two objects are doing the job, and I'm not 100% sure they're cooperating correctly. He calls parse strategy to parse. And it seems like you should be getting that from here. But this is an inner type that it doesn't really know. But I don't think that's, I don't know what's going on. Let's look for that no value found again. Well, that's coming as a result of parse. But we can't see, well, we can. Okay, let's break. That was weird. Why does it not call parse? Yeah, I know why there's trouble now. All right, no value found. Let me try this whole screen thing again. Okay, so he's got 21. And then I think maybe it's going bad here. Because okay, 5. Input is 21.5. That's fine. And I 0.5 inches. Let's continue. Why it comes twice, I don't know. Well, that seems okay. Now he's coming in and he's going to convert it. Okay, I think what I'm not sure. Let's see. Is parser working with value? Sorry, I am missing more things when I separate the screen this way. Is parser working with value? So yes. Is it the value of the input string that comes in the parser? It's the input string. Does it work with double or int? You just take a string for input. Yeah, so it takes a string. Split numbers. So this is if you have, well, you got your input string. It's going to basically split out the 21.5 in the inches. So if it was 3 yards, 2 feet, 3 inches, you get a list of all the numbers, 21, 2, 3, and the units, yard, feet, inches. So split numbers is expecting inputs, normal, the full string, and then it splits out where it finds the letters, ignores the letters. Okay. But I think what's going on, and it didn't seem consistent, but sometimes it comes in twice. I think it's coming in, I think it's effectively processing its output as a second pass. And if its output is unacceptable as input, I think that's what's triggering it. So 21.5 inches looked good until it came back with 21.48, and then it's like, I don't know, missing denominator. I don't know why it thinks it's missing, but that's our message too. Let's see. Let's find. Oops. And you do have sort of this weird little parsing problem that you want to accept the partial along the way should still be good, but it may not generate a good answer. But they're not done typing yet. I typed 21.4 / it's not valid. It's missing a denominator. So I'm not sure how this is. But my theory is, okay, see this one. We got this dot. My theory is that it really needs to allow that middle dot thing that we're using, and I don't remember where we defined it, but it should be acceptable input. And so it's a weird, yeah. I think it's waiting for focus to go away before it completes the number. That's not what it does with the number ones. When I type these, they immediately change. Let's do 120. Take this off. 20, and if I go, whoops. Hope I'm not screwing up my code there. 5. Okay, and here if I type 1, 2, or 3, 4, it's doing it as it goes. But it seems like up here, I don't think it is. I don't know. Maybe it is. But I think what's happening is it gets your string, it parses it. If it's a legal value, it converts it to that value, and then writes it and parses that output again. I don't know if it's checking that it's the same value or what. But I don't know, these dots. Okay, this is what I changed. Let's see, this is value parse strategy. Let me see what I don't think there's a plain old diff handy. Of whole 0 through 9 / dot num to num. Okay, so I think I can just, well, let's just revert this guy. Okay, so where's that silly mid dot? Was it on keypad? Dot. Yeah. So keypad dot dot. I don't know how I can get that in there. I don't think. Um. Okay, let do it again. Okay, this is 21 4/8. I'm gonna snag that dot. Okay, so this becomes, well, actually, let's put a test in first. I think we're getting complicated here. Okay, so I'll use this structure, but I'm going to do different tests. Inches with mid dot. Instead of decimal point. Okay, so I don't need any of these that don't have a dot. But this, copy. Really, it looks a lot smaller over there. Okay, we expect all these to fail. Oh, gosh, I don't know if I'm just... All right, those are the 4 failures. These error messages, yeah, that's fine. This one, missing denominator. Okay, that sounds like what we saw. Well, yeah, that's a good question. I think you're right. I think the answer, well, is that right? Well, it's weird because he's never gonna, He's never going to write that out like that because he would turn it into 1 2/8. But the decimal point coming in, I'll leave that as an unknown. Yeah, the dot comes when there are fractions. I don't know, the input, see the keypad shows the dot. Does that go into the input? Well, clearly not because we're not parsing off it. Okay. And I don't care in a way, right? If you somehow manage to generate a dot, a decimal point, or a bullet dot, or whatever that is, it's however it got there. I don't care because when you're editing this, you're going to hit one. If I change the inches to 4/9 and then type not delete these three and then type 9 space in, that would still be a legal thing. I don't want you to go back and redo that. Yeah. So, okay. So let's see. Do I have my dot still? Probably not. Okay. So yeah, I think our regular expressions can accept them. 0 through 9 slash. Yes, slash is acceptable. And then let's add this. And I guess let's just find dot, decimal point. Oh. Okay, that one. It's the whole number. There's no dots. This is a number, so it allows dots. And when you put them in the brackets, you don't have to have the backslash, or you don't use the backslash. Okay. All right, let's see what that does. Okay, we're closing in. Yeah, that's the one you raised. Okay. Number too big or small? Yeah, that would be an option too. Why are you too big or small? Okay, we split the numbers, which should include. Okay. There's the units with the dot. Okay. And what message did we get? Number too big or small? Well, it seemed to like it okay in these, including this one. Number too big or small seems like it's a later thing. Right. Parse double. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's take your trick. Technique. How is a trick? Okay. I'm gonna revert this. Okay, value. Okay. Is there just a replace occurrence? Well, if it doesn't like regexes with that in there, I'm going to be in trouble, I think. Well, I'll try it. Yeah, just with. Ew. Cannot assign value. Cannot use mutating member. Oops. Mutating function. Okay, no result value. Good. Okay, good. Good suggestion. All right. So we replace this with period before checking input. Now, what I'm afraid of is that it's looking for convergence, not just that. We'll see. Okay, 4/8. Let's make it 4/12 inches. Tab. Missing denominator. Okay. 21.4/8 inches. That's happy now. Is it okay with this? Yes. 4/12 inches. No value found. This is Okay. Let's do 30. Whoops. 34.12 inches. 34.12 seconds. I screwed up my expression and never noticed. All right, let's put the test in. Well, no, 1.25. Well, no, that didn't really quite do it. 11 seconds. Let's do 11 eighths. Is 3:15 and 3/8. Well, let's take something I can work out in my head here. This should be 0.5. Okay, let's take this as is. Run it. Three 14 and 8/16 inches. What? Four 16 inches. I don't know what's going on here. 0.15 inches. 8/16 is 4/8. Yeah, that part's okay. But, like, what's the matter with that? 314.2 inches. That's fine. 314.2 inches. That's fine. 314.1 inches. No value found. Do I only let you do 8s and 16ths? Maybe at one point we were going to enforce something like that, but I don't think we do. Where's the fraction? Parse fraction. Just double parse double. Okay. 314 and 1/8 inches. Should be 314.18. Yes. Okay. Now 314.16 inches. Fine. 1/28 inches. Bang. Somebody's enforcing something. I don't know. One-16th. Yeah, something. No, rounding to eighths. On the output side, we do the eighths rounding. Yes, that's. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, on the output side, that we forced it to go to eighths. That's reasonable. Okay, well, let's try 31.5 inches. Golly, that's right. 31.25 inches. 31.375 inches. 31.0625 inches. 3/16th. Hmm. 31.25 worked fine. Let's throw in some extra stuff. Okay. 31 3/1000ths inches. No value found. 3/100ths inches. Well, that's where we get that little circle plus and circle minus. Yeah, I expect these to be circle pluses, but no value found. (31.9 inches. No value found. 31.8 inches. 31.8 inches. 31.5 inches. Yes, that's fine. 31.6 inches. Bang. Okay, something's weird. I don't know how I would make this mistake. Is that right? 31.6 inches. Boom. 31.6 space inches. Boom. 31.5 inches. 31.58 inches. 31.5999 inches. Well, parse strategy. You know what? I bet there is some circular thing going on. Yeah, I think you're right. That's what's going on. That if that plus or minus shows up in the output, right? Can we get that? Oh, we can't get that here because we don't have these yet. If it came out to like 31.999 is really 32 minus in the way we would write it out. But I bet our parser does not like those. where those get calculated. I guess it's value formatter. Whoops. It's multiple 2. Right. So that's the rounding bit. These bad boys. Let's put this up here for a minute. I think if you do 34 point, well, this isn't even helping this. I don't even know what you should get. So yeah, it's not in the A to Z. I think, right. So are we saying 34 and a half plus is 34 and a half? I mean, and same thing for the minus. Oops. Because I don't know. So I feel like what's going on is the text field parses the value, writes it on shift and focus, parses it, writes it out according to the formatter, and then parses it again and gives us the result. So that feels like I don't know. I feel like that's not really. I don't know if it's stopping when it gets a stable value or if it just does it once. If it's doing this at all. Okay, but in a way, I mean, if it's 34 and a half plus, it's not plus a 16th. It's really kind of like plus a 32nd or plus a 64th or something like that. It's slightly big. We know it's less than a 16th. Now, we could always just treat that as plus or minus, a 32nd or something like that. Although if you rounded up a 32nd to a 16th, it might round up, but maybe a 64th or something like that. All right, so I guess we'll get to find out these. Well, these are going to break, right? We're pretty sure because our input format does not expect them. Yup, okay. And it should be some sort of error, missing denominator. Okay, probably the same error. Yep. All right. And I guess this is part of the numeric. It's not part of the inches. Okay, so value parse. Well, I think we could take what you're saying. I don't think this is going to naturally occur. it creates a weird little, I mean, just from a mathematical thing, it creates a weird little thing going on, right? Because you're taking a value, you're converting it to your output format, and then you're converting it again. It's, you know, it's like you're saying the plus didn't mean anything, but it did, you know. And maybe it's looping until stability, or maybe it's not. All right, but we have the chance to find out. I guess in this case it won't matter because we're not the text field. Well, okay, there you go. Missing too many dots. Fraction is not equal to. Too many dots. Oh, my replace is wrong. Sorry. Value does not conform. Something's. Yeah, it goes away as soon as you look at it. Okay. So that doesn't tell us, that tells us we do it on input, but it doesn't tell us what the text field does. It might blow, you know, come up with an illegal value, or maybe it's recirculating. Okay. I don't think we can test it outside of testing it. I mean, maybe we could set up a UI test, but I hesitate to mess with it. All right. So now let's do 21.999, which should be almost 22. And it should be 21.78 plus. Yeah, we get 22 inches. Okay. So it doesn't. Yeah, I think it's going to strip out that plus or minus on anything. So I think that would be 21 minus, no, 22 minus, and then strips out the minus and leaves it with 22. How can I verify this? I know. Oh, let's see. I think all our tests are passing. Let's take this while we got it. Okay. So make parser ignore circled plus or minus on input. I think if we took complete view, where's our little spike? Here we go. Hip to hip value. 21.5. Well, if it was 0.65 to be an eighth, let's make it 0.55. That should be 21.5 plus. And I think it's going to strip it out. Which is not a good thing. Okay. Oh, 20. Wait. 5.5? Okay, so eighths would be, sorry, 16th is 0.0625. So yeah, that's a 16th minus. So it's okay writing them out. It's just they won't enter them in. Okay. I'm kind of okay with that. I think it needs to be able to write them out if the pleats are going to be pleat width is 1.7 plus, then it ought to write that out. Okay. Oh, wow. Got any time left? Oh, all right. I think it's doing what it should be doing now. Okay, because yeah, that text field. I mean, I definitely didn't pull that notion that it was kind of recirculating and maybe even converging to do its job. But we definitely saw it called twice several times. Okay, and notice the spaces didn't hurt anything, so that's something at least. All right, where are we? Input versus output format. Okay. Must be able to parse. How about re-parse any output? Fixed problems with circled plus and minus and bullet point. Okay. Now that fixed one angle on it. Wow, we spent all day on this. I guess I had a failed attempt to make the field generic over int or double. Okay. Yeah, this error bugs me. Like, let's say I forget this. Oh, he parses it as a number. All right. Let's say I say find some error. No value found. Now, I don't know how you show it. I mean, can we make our error catch that error value? I hate to have it in here where it gets used, but I guess it'll just propagate on all these things. I don't know, not ideal, but I'm going to defer this. Okay. Now, let's I don't think I need calculator or imperial formatter. Okay, pleat designer. Now what I'm saying is, well, sorry, there's validator. Let's pull that out. I think I've spent enough time skipping over it. That's part of these. And I think it'll be less confusing to have these up top. I don't know. Mod F, okay. Oh, I don't think I need this. Nope. Because now we're working with int. No, I suspect I don't need this anymore either. Okay, pleat designer. So I want to make, if I make hip to hip, be a value. Okay, we should get lots of complaints about people who use it. Yeah, they want doubles. I don't know if we have a two double on there, but it would be reasonable. Okay, so hip, where's the value? Hip to hip. Okay, I want to establish these. All right, I'm not sure the nil thing is going to work right, but okay, so hip to hip measure. Let's go see value. All right, so I'm going to make a function. There's negate. As double. Well, maybe it could be a var. Hopefully I can do this without breaking it up separately. Okay, so let's take plate designer, hip to hip measure. Hip to hip measure bang is a value. So as double and as double. Okay. And eventually we can get them all converted to the other side. Okay. Required positive. Let's make one that's value aware. Okay, required. It's got to be there. Maybe that's a mistake. Oh no, he's going to be very tricky to get to a double question mark. Let's flip this around. Well, we can do even better. No, maybe not. Now then, this. How's that? You can just do a type here. Or here. Well, it didn't complain about this. Oh, yeah. All right, it seemed okay with this one. Required. Okay, positive takes a double, or needs a value. Sorry, Miss. Should that be located in the equatable extension? I'm not sure what you were referring to. Okay, it has to be a value number. I don't. Is that normal for that sort of thing? I can certainly do that. It is a little lost down there, isn't it? Oh, but if I say equatable, then no, that's not going to work. If I say equatable, it's going to want, or do I already have equatable? I do. Okay. Well, this doesn't seem right. None of that seems to have anything to do with equatable, does it? I mean, it's really getting it from there. Okay, exact calls to field. Right, we got field with value. Tip designer. Hit measure. Okay, so field. Yeah, this is make me wish I'd gotten this one straightened out. I'm going to put inches for now. It's going to need some work. All right. Hopefully that went away. Mostly this was UI changes. No. Oh boy. Replace has no keystroke. Weird. There might be some assertions about what its value equals. That'll be a problem. Yeah, this one now. I think we'll break this case out. All right. Well, that's a first step. Okay. We'll pick up here tomorrow. I think we're finally on a path that's better. I do think we're going to need another. We may need more formatters. May need fraction formatter. Maybe this is like an eighth fraction formatter or something. I'm not going to make these things inches if I can help it, because I just don't want people to have to retype that all the time. I guess I could accept, maybe I could let the parser accept a number as inches by default or something. We'll look at that too. Or accept unitless values as int. Okay, but we've got the hip done anyway. The hip to hip measure, and I think we're closing in. There's some bumps, but I think we're getting there. Boy, this is a lot of work for what we're getting out of it. And I do think it's going to reveal that we want no, I don't know. I think it's going to reveal we want other kinds of formatters. We'll see. Okay, painful session, I think. Painful for me, hopefully not unbearable for you. But thanks for joining, and I think next time we'll just continue on this path. It seems like we're kind of digging our way out of the hill, or out of the hole at this point. All right, thanks, and I'll see you tomorrow, 2 to 4:30 Eastern or 6 to 8:30 p.m. UTC. Bye-bye.